Welcome to the inaugural show of Slams and Jams. I am Bombshell Billy.
I am Eddie Carpenter.
And we are here to talk about wrestling. We're here to talk about rock and roll, music, all that good stuff. This is for the love of rock and wrestling. What do you got, Eddie?
We got album picks, we got guitar licks, we got debates on the greats, we're going to talk about predictions, we got Mount Rushmores on everything.
And he means everything. He's a poet and he don't know it. This is perfect timing to do our first show. We've talked about it for a while. We got things together, and this is, as you know, because you're watching it during that time, it's WrestleMania week. So we are going to celebrate all and everything WrestleMania. We're going to do our WrestleMania predictions. We are going to do a Mount Rushmore on WrestleMania moments. And we are going to talk about some musical acts that have appeared over the years on WrestleMania.
Yeah, Billy. WrestleMania this year, going to be seen in over 40 countries. And it's in the city of sin, Las Vegas, Nevada.
I've sinned. I've never been to Las Vegas, though.
We've all sinned, Billy.
Sorry. We're off track already. What do you want to get into first? Let's talk about, let's do predictions last.
Okay.
Let's do predictions last. You know what? Let's go right into it. And let's go into the Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore!
How was that?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Mount Rushmore.
It's kind of scary, but okay. Let's go. So, you know what? I took a long time. Now, this is going to be a Mount Rushmore. It could be matches. It could be moments. It could be backstage clips, whatever. What you think, what you and I think, and it's personalized. Everybody's got, that's the beauty of Mount Rushmores and opinions. Everybody's got one. And you know, your Mount Rushmore will be different than mine. And, Nasty Nick there behind the production counter, his will be different than both of ours. So definitely, it's personal, it's opinion, it's conjecture. So
right.
Mine I based on definitely personal reasons for mine, and which I'll explain. And it's funny, we were talking earlier, it's like, are they moments or are they matches? And I'm like, let's just do moments.
Because it can go either way.
But I think all mine are matches anyways.
Because there's moments where, like, damn well they are WrestleMania moments that are going to live forever.
Yep.
Ones that everybody talks about, and
Absolutely.
it is the showcase of the immortals.
Yep.
And some of those memories are just immortal. But then there's some cases where things just stick to you because of personal experiences. Could have been your first show. It could have been your first pay-per-view. So there's a lot of different ways you can go about this.
Absolutely. So you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Actually, I've been watching a lot of the WWE stuff this week, and they've had their own ranking system. So I also kind of looked into where they ranked the moments that I had, if they had the moments that I had.
Yeah, I did a little investigating like that too.
Yeah.
But then I made it my own, and I took some of the, and there was a couple of things they didn't have, and I'm like, whoa, where's that? And I just popped it on there. So.
Yeah, I had to do some Google searches on a couple of things. Yeah. But
we're old. We don't. Our memories aren't as. Yeah, we don't.
We don't need to talk about that.
Young chaps.
Anyway, WWE ranked this moment number 15, and that was when the Ultimate Warrior pinned Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6. Now, let me paint you the picture on that one. I didn't have cable yet. Cable hadn't come through my neighborhood, but there was a kid in school that did. He invited me over to his house to watch WrestleMania 6.
Right.
Of course,
I don't like you, but of course I would love to come over and visit you for WrestleMania.
He was a good kid. I remember they had a bucket of chicken wings, which to this day I've
double
never seen
bonus
one again. That was amazing. Like pizza and wings, and he was a tall guy, like big kid for his age. And I remember when Warrior gets the pin, he jumped and hit his head on the ceiling of his bedroom. So it was all chaos. Everyone's covered in chicken wings. This kid hits his head. We're all celebrating. His whole family's celebrating. But his mom and his grandma are yelling at him for hitting the ceiling because it was an apartment. They didn't live, it wasn't their house. But one of the first memories I had of wrestling ever was that WrestleMania 6. And
I just want to stop for a second and say if we're going to continue with this show, I think we need to have a level of honesty between each other. And for you to sit here within the first 5 minutes of the show and say that you've never seen a bucket of chicken wings since it's just it's a lie. It's a lie. Admit it.
Maybe I just haven't seen one at that house apartment.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. We're friends again. All right. So, my first one on my Mount Rushmore is going to be a big one. Something that nobody saw coming. It was a shocker. It was, I guess, even like over 10 years later, some people are saying why. But if you think about it over the years, it kind of made sense. But my first one up on that Mount Rushmore of WrestleMania moments is Brock Lesnar ending The Undertaker's streak.
Yes.
That was huge.
Nice one.
I mean, nobody saw that coming.
No.
No. And it was, in the way it was laid out, Paul Heyman's face, like climbing halfway in the ring. And then immediately the camera shots to the crowd.
Yeah.
The one guy.
Yeah, the one guy, Elias or whatever his name is. Yeah, he became famous from that moment.
From that look.
Yeah, exactly. So that's when I started doing this. Before I did any research or anything, I'm like, okay, that's got to be on the list. So the Undertaker, the streak, 21-1.
Good call. My next one, just because, I mean, really, they ranked it in WWE as number 7. When I look back at this particular WrestleMania, I don't think there were many matches that couldn't be on a Mount Rushmore. By far one of the best WrestleManias of all time. But I'm talking WrestleMania 17, of course, and that would be TLC 2.
I knew you were going there.
Oh my God. So many elements go into the making of that match and what occurred. I mean, you had Rhino come out. You had Lita come out. You had Spike Dudley come out. Jeff Hardy taking a spear off the ladder, hanging from the belts. There was so much involved and so much wrapped into it. And if you watch that match, like, when I look back at it, I'm thinking, oh, that thing was, that was a long match, right? It wasn't that long. They put all of that into one match within, I think it was within like 15 minutes, under 15.
They threw 25 pounds of potatoes into a 10-pound sack.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yep. And still to this day, you'll see in build-up clips for any WrestleMania, or even, is it even in like the beginning of one of their shows or something? They'll show that spear.
Yeah.
That is an iconic moment in like the history of WWE, not just WrestleMania, in the history of WWE.
I think it might be in one of those like the flashing clips that they show at the beginning of Monday Night Raw. Yeah. All the camera bulbs flashing. Incredible.
Absolutely.
Don't try this at home.
Yeah, that was always in that. Yeah, I mean, how are you going to try that at home?
Yeah. How are you going to... It reminds me... That spot actually reminds me a lot of the Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Halloween Havoc, backflip into the DDT thing.
Yeah.
We'll never make that look as good, that good again. Yep. And it's just one of those things, one shot,
Yep. My next one's going to be... it was a pivotal moment in WWE history. It was a big match, big consequences after the match for a couple different reasons. My next moment was the Stone Cold Steve Austin winning the WWF title from Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14. Mike Tyson as the referee. And it's on the Mount Rushmore, in my opinion, for 2 reasons. One, that was Shawn's last match.
It was.
For 4 years. Like, arguably Mr. WrestleMania, the greatest of all time, gone for 4 full years. And that was huge. And the other part of that made it so special was that was the beginning of the Austin era. That was the beginning of Stone Cold solidifying his legacy as
Arguably the greatest of all time.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And what a character that was. I mean, we can do other shows about best characters, but like literally the working man, the guy that everybody wanted to be, the guy that came to work every day and
Take the shit out of his
yeah,
boss.
told his boss to F off, So, and then obviously, the Tyson aspect for, celebrity involvement. It's just all around. And bonus on that one being on my Mount Rushmore, I was there in person to see it all happen. I was
Really?
there. Yes. It was my very first WrestleMania that I went to.
One thing's for sure is if you guys do a Mount Rushmore of best wrestling Instagrams, Stone Cold is up there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a whole show just on that
What-
match alone. I mean, even the what happened at the press conference afterwards. Sean kind of crashed the press conference, had a bit of a fit. I don't know if you've seen that footage.
I haven't. No,
Shane
I actually
McMahon
haven't.
had to
no.
escort him out.
Really?
Yeah.
Legit?
Yeah, legit.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. What Nick's talking about on his Instagram is, I don't know if you see any of the Stone Cold new stuff, but his Macho and Poncho stuff, his cats.
No.
Oh yeah, his Stone Cold's social media is all about his cats. It's fantastic. It's more entertaining sometimes than like watching wrestling.
I believe
great.
it.
Oh,
I
you
believe
gotta
it.
watch
I
it.
don't think there's anything Steve Austin can do.
And he uses all like wrestling terminology. There's Poncho right there. Oh, look at him putting Macho over. Look at him. And he'll call him. They're walking out of the barn. Poncho. Oh, damn cats no selling me. Look at him. It's awesome. Oh, it's amazing.
Two solid ass cats right
He
there.
does. Oh, he puts his cats over. He puts his cats over more than he ever. Never mind.
Puts his cats over, but he won't put Lesnar over.
Right.
Oh.
Hey, what's your number 3, Eduardo?
My number 3 was actually WWE's number 3 too, which I thought was pretty interesting. Because, again, personal reasons. WrestleMania 18, Hulk Hogan and The Rock.
Nice.
I was there live.
You were there?
In living color.
Really? Nice.
I was up on the first tier up, probably second or third row, right next to the aisle. And the deal was, I went with Nolan. Him and I were kind of over The Rock. Like, The Rock was getting stale to us. Then Hogan comes in, and we're like, are you kidding me? Because all the stuff that Hogan did in WCW,
Right.
politicking, and like, it was the one match we could care less about. Like, out of the whole card, we're like, we got nothing to do with this. And it sounds cliche to say, but within 30 seconds of Hogan walking down that aisle and that crowd popping, the hair on my arms was standing on end. You could, as cliche as it sounds, you could feel the electricity. Within a minute, I was on my feet and cheering for Hulk Hogan.
That's awesome.
And we watched what is now considered one of the greatest
Absolutely.
WrestleMania matches of all
Absolutely.
time, and
And-
ate our words that day.
And another moment in that match that other people just as recent as a spot with Cody and Cena in the ring recently, a spot in that match where they're both just like nobody's saying anything. They're both just.
Yeah, where they didn't even have to.
And how many times have they tried to repeat that over the years since then?
Yeah,
Because that's just like that fed the fire to that moment right there.
yeah, and you had two guys that could. They didn't have to work physically to draw the crowd.
Right.
Just
No,
with
no.
a look, just
No.
a look on their face.
Yep.
And you had the two biggest stars in wrestling that were most known for that.
Yep.
Face to face.
Yep.
Incredible.
Absolutely. And I hear rumors that if you look at a fan cam of that and you see The Rock as Hogan's coming, if you see The Rock in the ring, he's actually doing the goosebumps. And he just does it all the time. It's so annoying when he does that now. So
Yeah, it was honestly one of the most, not to steal a catchphrase, but electrifying feelings.
that's great. And it's
I had ever had in a
so
wrestling
awesome to be there for moments like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which leads me to my number 3.
What you got?
Because I was also there for that. Wasn't the greatest WrestleMania match, but just the build up and the moment in itself and the emotion and watching as the match played out. WrestleMania 24, Ric Flair against Shawn Michaels in Ric Flair's retirement match.
Good one.
Really? Bill and I were there live, and talk about goosebumps. Talk about sitting on the edge or standing, whatever, on the edge of your seat, your aisle, whatever. Everyone in that stadium, because literally there was something in everyone's head saying, he might win. He might win this. Flair might win this.
Yeah.
And that was just laid out and played out so perfectly. And even at the end, and obviously if you see something live, you don't see it all. You don't hear the commentary, which is the downfall of seeing it live. But like it's even more emotional when you're listening to the commentary later. But just while you're there and you see after he gets the 3 count and he leans down and he grabs Flair's head and he kisses him on his head. And then he rolls out and the stage is yours.
Yeah.
And you know, when he comes out and he takes his bow and goes out and hugs his family and stuff, and you see a young Charlotte Flair out there at ringside, it just all the emotions with that, just wow. And what a moment right there. Now, you know, asterisk, unfortunately over the years, Flair has, you know,
Tainted.
He's tainted his legacy from that moment many times. But, you know, I mean, I'm a big, huge Flair fan, have been for years.
Woo!
But I want to, that's just a moment I am so glad I was there for. Yeah, that's definitely on my mountain. Again, I made mine kind of personal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I was there.
Well,
I was there for the Austin Michaels thing. I was there for that. And
you mentioned the not having the commentators. When you got 2 performers, as good as they are at telling a story and the roller coaster of emotions they can take you on, you almost don't even need that.
Absolutely.
But then when you have that on top of it, they help tell that story a little bit better, and it brought it all together. But yeah,
absolutely.
Incredible pick, man.
A perfect example of what you just said about you don't need it, but when you hear it, it adds even more to it. And just when you said that, a certain moment came to my head, and Nick and I talk about it all the time, is when Cody made his return to WWE, and you didn't need to hear anybody saying anything. You could just feel that.
Yeah.
But then when you watch it over and you hear Corey Graves from undesirable to undeniable, and all the little catchphrase things that he said, I was like, wow, that made that so strong. That made it so much stronger.
He's good.
You know,
he's real good.
Yeah, he's great. So that's my number 3 on my Mount Rushmore of WrestleMania moments.
All right. One more here. Okay. So, my number 4 might be a little controversial. And I might get a little hate for this, and that's all right.
I got a feeling I know where you're going.
You might. It was Safeco Field, Seattle, Washington, WrestleMania 19. Brock Lesnar climbs to the top rope at almost 300 pounds. The man was 290 pounds when he did this, and attempted to do a shooting star press over half the ring distance onto Kurt Angle and landed smack dab on his forehead. Now, it's a little personal reasons, because it just so happened me and my friends sat down to watch WrestleMania that year, and for whatever reason, the words that came out of my mouth were, you ever notice there's never been any kind of disasters or accidents at WrestleMania?
Wow.
And every face turned and looked at me like, why would you say that?
You did the Stewie head where it turns sideways?
Yeah, just... And, we dismissed it as the show went on. And the minute that happened, there wasn't a, oh, or oh my God, or geez. Everyone just got silent, and once again,
you did this!
Turned their head.
You did this! You made this happen!
They didn't say a word for like 3 minutes, and they're like, come on, Ed. Come on. You do better. So,
So that's why they muzzle you when you watch wrestling.
Yeah. So, I guess that's my number 4, just for that memory of,
Nice.
you know,
One of those things.
who
that
brought this
stands
guy.
out. My number 4 is gonna be for me, it's an easy one. And some people might think it's cliche. Some people think that's on your. Yeah, it is on my Mount Rushmore WrestleMania moments, because some have said over the years. Sorry, let me rephrase. Some have said over the year that this is possibly the greatest WrestleMania of all time, and I'm talking about WrestleMania 40. And with that said, I think you know the moment I'm talking about. When after 2 years of building one of the best stories in woven together in possibly the history of wrestling, one of the best, because it went from finishing your story to an offshoot of the Bloodline story, which is one of the greatest stories in and of itself. But all that stuff weaved together, and climaxing at WrestleMania 40, and just all of the different surprises and interference and people involved in that. And I can proudly say that Nick and I were actually there for that as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I
Yep.
did not know you went to 40.
We were there. Yep. We were there to watch Cody finish his story. And it was just a moment. Like, literally, you know the old saying, and it might be an exaggeration, but like, not a dry eye in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that whole place was just like, oh my God.
Oh, having everyone in the
Yes.
ring
So-
afterwards, calling
so
Triple H
great.
out.
So great.
Dude,
Yeah.
Samantha's announcement
Yeah.
after the 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
she choked up
Oh, yeah.
when she
big,
announced the win.
big time, yeah.
Yep. And honestly, like, we're probably up there going, I can't believe. We're probably talking to each other that same way she sounded, because it was just amazing. What a feel good. Everybody left that place feeling great because it finally happened.
Well, what did you think the night before when Cody was pinned by The Rock in the tag team match? Did you start hitting doubts that maybe Cody
No.
wouldn't win
Honest-
it the next night?
Honestly, because getting pinned made it Bloodline rules.
Yep.
And that just put, in my head, that put the final obstacle that he has to go over. I mean, look at everything he went through. He had the whole feud with Rollins that carried on for months.
Yeah.
Then he had the whole Lesnar thing where Lesnar turned on him, and they had that whole thing. And then into the Bloodline thing, and he had to go through all those guys. And honestly, I think a lot of people were, because it's just the structure of WWE and wrestling in general, when he didn't win at 39, I wonder what they're going to do with him now. And then they built it for another whole year. He had to win.
As they should, though.
He had to win.
Yeah.
You know, so my opinion, to answer your question, I think losing the first night put that final obstacle in the way and kind of solidified that he was going to win.
And
I'll never say never, but in my opinion, that kind of solidified that he was going to win.
you kind of see too that that also allowed us to have interference without disqualification.
Yep.
Allowed us a moment to see the Undertaker in the ring again.
Well, the thing with the Undertaker is, like, the rumors online and everything was like Austin's going to come out.
Yeah.
So the whole night, everyone's waiting for the glass to break. And then when the freaking dong, everybody's like, what? Because not only was it awesome that it happened, but no one saw that coming. No one saw that coming.
No one did.
Yeah.
I have the video I took when we were in the stadium on that. I don't think either of us have ever screamed as loud as we did when that gong
Yeah,
hit.
he was filming it near there with all the stuff, and it was like, we were just like marking out, like, everything. Oh my God.
It was
It was
great.
great.
I rewatched that today, and from watching his podcast lately, and it was time I was getting old. He's can't move around as well. I timed how long the lights went out after the choke slam, and it was only maybe 4 seconds, and he was nowhere to be seen.
Right.
So he had to hightail it back to the dressing room.
Yeah, there were fan cams that were put online of him running through the crowd.
You did it through the
around him and
crowd?
stuff. Yeah, he
Okay,
ran right through the
okay.
crowd to get out of there. Yeah. So in my collecting my Mount Rushmore, I did have a bunch of. What I did first was I collected a bunch of moments,
Yeah.
and then from that I picked my 4. So I have some honorable mentions if we can run through those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see what you think of those. Got to put WrestleMania 1 on there.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 1, because if not for WrestleMania 1, and we all know the story of Vince, what did he mortgaged his house or
gambled
whatever, and put everything on there, and it worked out for him.
Yeah,
you know
it
what I mean?
did.
If that didn't happen, we wouldn't be having this show, or we wouldn't be getting ready to watch one of the biggest wrestling show of the year coming up this
It
year.
merged the entertainment industry with the wrestling industry,
Absolutely.
and hence we have sports entertainment now. But I guess we're going back to wrestling. I don't know. I guess it all depends on who's running the show.
At this point, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm here for all of it. I'm here
Yeah.
for all of it. Hogan, Andre.
See,
The Hogan Andre match, not necessarily all of WrestleMania 3, and I know it was a huge gate, 93,000, yada yada, but just that, not even the match, because the match itself was awful, but the significance of the match, Andre, here's my air quotes, undefeated Andre finally losing. And I think what adds to the aura of maybe that being on that list is over the years, Hogan's stories about it, and like, I tore every muscle in my back, brother. And then he told me during the match, slam me, brother. Like, we all know that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And he obviously the slam was planned.
yeah.
In front of 600,000 fans.
Yeah, 600,000. They all bought real American beer.
He dropped me right on my neck. Oh wait, that was Taker.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. But just for the significance of that particular Hogan Andre, one of those dream matches, although they'd wrestled many times in the past. But yeah. Here's a funny one. And me and Bob and Derek always talked about this. WrestleMania. I don't even remember that. I didn't even put down what WrestleMania it was. What's the WrestleMania where LT wrestled Bigelow? Do you
That
remember?
was WrestleMania. I want to say 11.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So, Salt and Pepper were there,
Yeah.
and they came out and they were
Oh,
standing.
he's a mighty good man.
Yep. And they sang him to the ring, and then they were standing right outside of the entrance. They were standing over like to the side on a little stage or whatever. And then Bam Bam comes out, and he's walking out in his Bam Bam thing, and then he goes toward them,
Yeah.
and they shit themselves, and they all, and it was the funniest thing I saw all night. He scared the crap out of them.
I always felt like Bam Bam kind of got he got the crap end of the stick, so to speak, with WWE until then. Like, he main evented a WrestleMania with LT.
And everybody's like, I can't believe he lost. Like, that's the biggest moment of Bam Bam's career.
Yeah.
Biggest moment, by far.
Yeah, probably biggest payday.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. He wrestled a lot in Japan.
Yeah, but
It's hard
I
to
mean,
say,
most
but-
eyes on him. Biggest moment of his career right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
against
one
a
of the-
legitimate worldwide star on the biggest stage in wrestling.
And probably the most agile big man, arguably,
Oh yeah, absolutely,
of his time.
absolutely. We can do a big man episode sometime.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Absolutely. I'm gonna have to pack on some pounds for that. Got a spare bucket of chicken
Bucket
wings?
of chicken wings.
Heyo. The WrestleMania 10, Shawn and Razor ladder match.
Yeah, I almost put that on mine.
Yep. And just because, even though there have been ladder matches in the past in Calgary and whatnot, the ladder match concept, that's the very first one ever in WWE.
Incorrect, sir.
Oh!
Incorrect, sir.
Womp.
In 1993, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels
Oh, you know what? I did
had
know
an
that. I
Intercontinental
did know
title
that.
ladder match.
I did know that. Wasn't that Coliseum video or something?
It was, yeah.
You're right.
Um,
I did remember that.
However, I still think that the Shawn Razor one was better. But really, I think Shawn made the ladder matches, both of them.
Absolutely.
Either way.
Absolutely. I'll whip through a couple here. I had on the honorable mentions list Edge Spears Jeff.
Yeah.
Yep, you said that. That's obviously a moment to remember. Rock Hogan, WrestleMania 18, another big moment. WrestleMania 34. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I don't think anyone has ever, and this is, I agree with this. This is Jim Cornette's opinion. He always says this.
Sure
I don't
he is.
think, I agree. I don't think there's ever been a better debut match for someone. Especially the stature that she had.
Yeah.
The star that she was coming into, because I'm going to be a wrestler. She's going to be a wrestler. Oh, here we go. I think there really wasn't anything wrong with that match. It was obviously it was laid out. I'm sure they worked it out, but
We have plenty of people that come into wrestling with a lot of star power that think they can just jump in a ring and wrestle and do what they see on TV and everything's going to be okay. And we've seen it fail over and over and over again. But you have an athlete the caliber of Ronda Rousey coming into it. That's a whole different ballgame. We're not talking like a TV host or a game show host or a...
Right.
We're, much like LT, we're talking an athlete.
Yep. And she, like, athletic wise, she did a lot more in that match than LT did in his.
Yeah.
Of course, different era, different, but yeah. So that just for that, I don't know. There were a lot of like memorable moments in that match where she backed up Triple H in the corner and started giving him the shots over and over, and the way he sold it was like awesome. It was great. WrestleMania 7, Savage loses to the Warrior.
Oh.
Sherry turns on Savage, and Liz comes out of the crowd.
Elizabeth returns.
Talk about not a dry eye in the house.
Yeah.
When Liz comes in and they embrace in the middle of the ring.
There's always that. I don't know why when I think of that match, the first thing I think of, as you said, not a dry eye in the house, is that one random woman in the crowd that looked like she had like a shower cap on or something. And you watch it back.
Oh, I gotta watch it.
It's just so out of place.
It's awesome.
Crying her eyes out, like just bawling.
It's great.
Like, what has she got on her head? I think it had polka dots.
3 more real quick. Kofi Mania.
Kofi Mania, I watched that today.
Kofi Mania running through it to the end when he wins that title. Wow, what a pop that was.
He brought all the kids in the ring and like passed out T-shirts.
Yep. D. Bry's win at WrestleMania 30.
Yeah.
What a build up that was.
Yes.
And what he had to do. He had to go through and beat Triple H earlier in the night
just to get
a shot against 2 other guys. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was great. That was great. And then last but not least, I touched on it earlier. Just Cody's return to WWE after being gone for a few years and leaving the way he did and coming back with the fashion that he did, and then just becoming the most popular wrestler in the company right now, and the face of the company probably for years to come.
Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah. Yep. So those are my honorable mentions for WrestleMania moments. Yeah, I like it. And you know what? In 10 years, we can sit down and do this again, and we probably may have a brand new half a list.
Yeah. And
Let's hope so, because I want to be a wrestling fan forever.
Hopefully won't make any kind of dark predictions. And
Yeah, let's not
do that anymore.
Oh, we got to do predictions later.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do mine. Somebody give him some chicken. Let's go to our next segment. Let's do that.
What is our next segment?
Don't you know?
Is it music performances?
It is. It is. It is. That's right.
I have nothing on these.
I'm glad
I just have a list.
Glad he came up with something there. I just have 4 things and it's not necessarily musical, not performances, but musicians, because we're all about the rock and the wrestling. Excuse me. 4 things that stick out to me. WrestleMania 29. Living Color playing CM Punk to the ring live.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Like Mussolini. That's right.
That was awesome.
It was great. The only thing, I watched it recently, the only thing that, I don't want to say it sucked, but the only thing that like brought it down just a hair is that Punk and Heyman come out and Punk just looks over and goes, and then just keeps walking. He's like
Like, thanks for coming.
They came all the way here for you. Can
Yeah.
you give him a little acknowledgement? Give him a little fist bump or something? Nah. But he was focused.
I thought he like pointed at him or something.
Maybe. He was just something quick, though. He was just like,
What's up, dude?
then just keep walking. But he was focused. It was all right. He had a big match. Got him.
I think of Triple H with Motorhead playing him to the ring.
Yeah, and he came over and like jammed with him, right?
Jamming, then he got up on the turnbuckle and he pointed at him
Yeah.
like, look at these guys. Like,
Right.
don't look at me, look at Motorhead. Like,
Yeah, he's probably like, Punk didn't do this.
Yeah, he said that. And, he spoke for Lemmy when they had his services, and he said, I can't tell you how insane it feels to have your favorite band play you in front of so many thousands of people to the ring. He's like, it's the most amazing moment of my life. And you can see that when you watch it, too.
That's amazing. Ozzy being at WrestleMania 2
With Jake.
with the British Bulldogs.
Well,
The British Bulldogs.
have you seen the picture with Jake, with him and with Damien?
No.
Oh, it's awesome.
No.
I always think of that.
No, that's great. Speaking of Jake and Damien, Alice Cooper.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, I had a feeling you did. WrestleMania 3. WrestleMania 2, Ozzy Osbourne was in the corner of the British Bulldogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
WrestleMania 3.
He wore white, right?
No,
No.
he wore like a it's almost the same color as Mark Henry's Lioness jacket.
It's sexual, baby.
Oh, all right.
Because of like a peach kind of
Got,
color.
yeah. When he retired.
Yeah.
Retired.
When he retired. Alice Cooper was WrestleMania. That was another one I had in the corner of Jake Roberts at WrestleMania 3. That was cool. Because back then, WrestleMania 3 was what? I was a teenager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I'm
I
like,
think-
Ozzy.
I think we could only watch
Alice
it.
Cooper. You know?
My neighbor had like satellite, and his dad taped, like watched it on satellite and recorded it on I think a beta VCR or something.
Yeah.
And when we were older, we found them all. And we were watching them. And it's this giant.
Nice.
You ever see one of those?
We ordered it. We ordered it on the cable box, so we get to watch it. You know, and it wasn't like you watched the boobs back then, like through the scrambles. And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Is that a? Oh no, that's an elbow. But yeah, that was cool to see. And then the other thing that stands out too is more recent Nita Strauss playing Shinsuke.
Oh yeah.
Playing Shinsuke to the ring.
Right in the middle of the aisle.
Yeah, it was badass. Badass.
So
Nita
cool.
Strauss is badass. Funny, on my 4 mentions I have, Nita Strauss and Alice Cooper are both in it.
Nice.
She's his guitar player.
WrestleMania 18 saw Drowning Pool
Mm-hmm.
and Saliva play live. They were kind of right in front of us because we were right next to the
Really?
entrance. Yeah.
Nice.
But the place is so huge. The Sky Dome in Toronto, it's
Yeah.
so big. It literally sounded like all you could hear is the hi hat and the snare.
Right.
Because
with
like
all
the
the
singing was just,
with all the stuff going on at that show, the last thing they're worried about is the acoustics of the band that's going to
Yeah.
play for like 2 minutes. That's it. That's cool. Real quick, I want to throw in here, and then we'll do our predictions.
yeah, sure.
I have been. Have you ever been to a WrestleMania?
Yeah.
How many? Oh yeah, 18.
We just talked
We just
about
talked
that.
about. Yeah, that's the one you've been to?
That's the only one I've been to. Yeah, only WrestleMania I've been to.
I did a little calculation earlier, and I actually surprised myself. I've been to 8. Not WrestleMania 8, but 8 WrestleManias.
That's a lot of WrestleManias.
14, 15, 20, 24, 26, 28, once in a lifetime, 29, twice in a lifetime, and 40.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, so,
I always looked at it like, for me, WrestleMania was a bucket list thing. Like, I crossed it off my bucket list.
yeah.
Now what? Next is Royal Rumble. And I feel like I've had 3, maybe 4 opportunities in my life to go to see the Royal Rumble, and I didn't go. And I feel like I'm getting too old, and it's going to be too far away every year now for me to ever get that opportunity. But that's next.
I've been to, maybe more, I can't really think, but I know for sure off the top of my head I can tell you 2 Royal Rumbles. I was at Royal Rumble 92 when Flair won the title in the Royal Rumble.
That was in Albany, New York.
You got it, the Knickerbocker Arena.
Yep.
And then the other one I went to that I know for sure was an MSG, and I can't tell you what year it was, but it was when Taz made his WWE debut
Oh.
against Angle.
Yeah, that was 2000, I believe.
And
yeah.
then it was like a some wild match with Cactus Jack and
Cactus
Triple
Jack
H.
and Triple H
Yep.
in a hardcore match.
Yep. Yep.
And Hardy's versus Dudley's in a table match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So I was there for that as well. I may have been to another one. Can't remember. I've been to a few SummerSlams and stuff, but over the years. But dude, nowadays, man, you get a mortgage or get a second mortgage on your house to get a ticket now. It's crazy.
I feel like the last couple of years we've discussed, hey, let's do a WrestleMania maybe, and then we always just no.
Yeah.
Scroll past the tickets.
You know, SummerSlam is coming to Jersey this year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's another bucket list.
Yeah, but again.
Yeah. Well, you know, are you going to
sell
pay
this
for
stuff back here, and then you'd be able to go?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'll at least get gas to go around.
Right.
I guess if you're going for the matches, that's one thing. If you're going for the experience, you could buy a cheap ticket and sit up in the nosebleeds. You know, I mean, I don't know if there's a cheap ticket in the house, but sit up in the nosebleeds, watch it on the screen there without commentary. But like, you still have that whole weekend.
Yep.
Because they base these things on entire.
Dude, there's
weekends.
a lot of people that go to WrestleMania weekend and don't go to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll
They'll go to all the indie stuff. They'll go to like the maybe Hall of Fame or whatever, but they won't go to actual WrestleMania. It's wild. But yeah.
Did you ever get to the last thing on your list for the music performance thing there?
That was it. I just had 4. Yeah. Living Color, Ozzy, Alice Cooper, and Nina Strauss.
Okay. I'm surprised he didn't mention the. Well, I guess it makes sense.
What do you got?
I was gonna say Rhea's from last year with Motionless playing her.
Oh yeah, that was badass too. Yeah, that was badass. Oh yeah, we were there for that too.
Is Rhea the first person that had like a live performance for her entrance and actually won the match? Is that the first time that's happened at WrestleMania? Because like that was infamous for a long time. Like everyone that had a live performance would lose. Like it would be like the curse of.
Well, I know the Undertaker didn't, and he had Limp Bizkit playing to the ring once.
Oh, what year was that?
I'm trying to think of who he wrestled. That'd be the only way I'd be able to
okay,
tell.
never mind then.
Was there?
It would have to be 19. No, it was after that. Right?
The streak didn't break until WrestleMania 30, so if
Yeah,
Limp Bizkit was playing him to the ring, then
Yeah.
Was that some moving around? What you gotta do now?
Was there a live band at Safeco Field played for Brock Lesnar? Because that could have been the curse. Oh wait, he won. Never mind. He just bashed his face up a little bit. Whose fault was that? I love what you've done with the place. This is great.
Thanks.
All right, let's do some WrestleMania predictions.
All right, I've got a lot of those.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of WrestleMania to talk about.
Well, you know what? One thing I didn't prep for, and I'm gonna come out because I'm gonna take them from my feels. I didn't write down my predictions. I'm gonna do it right off the top of my head.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I didn't do that. I actually took the time that Billy didn't take to.
Yeah, that's
write
all right
down my
though.
predictions.
That's okay.
But I don't know the difference between Ozzy and Alice Cooper.
All right. Well, I guess it's time for WrestleMania 41 predictions.
WrestleMania 41 predictions brought to you by us. All right, first up, my friend, we have Jacob Fatu taking on LA Knight for the United States Championship.
You mean Fatu?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that same guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I see. I got you. I'm gonna do a bold prediction right off the bat, and I'm gonna say that Solo is gonna somehow be involved in this. I don't think Jacob needs a title right now, and if he does, he needs to be going for one of the big belts. With that said, I think Solo, who second year in a row as of recording time, does not have a match at WrestleMania. I think Solo's going to interfere somehow, and I don't think necessarily intentionally, maybe unintentionally, costs Jacob the match, and that will lead to what they've been teasing here and there, a Jacob Solo confrontation, and maybe a little program with the two of those guys, maybe going into Backlash.
Yeah, it's important to say, too, that we're recording this preempted to Raw or SmackDown
right.
On WrestleMania week. So we don't know what's going to happen with Solo. If
Right.
we'll get to that later on. But no, I agree. I think Fatu will win, but I just wish there was a little bit more build up to it.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just kind of thrown together.
There's no story between them. I mean, there's a couple things that, with other people involved, but there's
Couple
no
altercations, yeah.
there's no real story, no build up to this match. And usually, in recent times, WWE has been pretty good with putting stories behind stuff. So.
Correct. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: do you think they're just giving Fatu a title because, I mean, let's face it, you can't just have someone come in somewhat fresh and just give them a main event spot. They have to earn their way to it. Do you think this is the WWE's way of making Fatu earn his way and maybe pay some dues by winning the United States belt? Because historically, Intercontinental champions always moved on to the world title. Do you think this is their way of maybe we got to get him in line, and get him where people aren't going to go, hey, this guy just showed up here and he gets a world title shot? That's BS.
I don't think so. I think I'll just go. I mean, I'll stick to what I said. I don't think he needs, and not that the U.S. and the Intercontinental titles aren't important. They've been less important at times. They've been more important at times. But I just think it's a match. It's a I wouldn't say a marquee match, but it's a match between two of the bigger names, high mid-level names at this point at least. That will get him a spot on there, and again, I think it's just going to set up something with Solo. But speaking of LA Knight, real quick, man, they strapped the rocket to him.
Yeah, and
year and a half ago, and then all of a sudden,
he
boom,
was so over still.
He's holding on to it, but man, hopefully something. I'm hoping that this isn't his peak.
Yeah, I hate to use the word politicking again, but I wonder, as fans, I guess we don't necessarily know what happens behind the curtain, what could be going on. But I always wonder with him because he's over, but it just doesn't seem like
there's rumors that
cares.
There's rumors that maybe he's, tough to deal with or whatever. Maybe he is. Who knows? We don't know him. So,
yeah.
I don't know. So, so you're predicting Fatu wins?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He's an unbeatable machine. I can't see how.
I'm gonna go with LA going over due to a Solo interference.
All right.
Oh, okay. All right. What do we got next, buddy?
Next, we got Charlotte Flair taking on Tiffany Stratton for.
Hold on a second. Hang on. Oh, it's Tiffy time.
It certainly is, sir.
Yes, sir.
Certainly is.
Yes, sir. That was my prediction, by the way.
Now, I was going to ask, is that your prediction or is that just who you want to win?
Both.
Okay.
So we talked about this earlier in the show. Always been a big Flair mark. And in turn, when Charlotte debuted and came out, and she's great. No doubt about that, she's great. But something about her over there. There's a sense of, and people say it in storyline. People say it in real life. I feel over the years, and as things move on and go on, that there's just a sense of entitlement. And I hate to say it, but Tiffany's great. Tiffany's great. Nick and I were actually talking on our way to the studio today, and we were talking about Mickie James' comment about that. Did you hear about that when the LFG competitor? What was it, Nick? What was that about when the LFG competitor where they had something like risque on or something?
Yeah, it was basically just pretty much what you just said. Yeah.
Yeah, and she gave her a speech about we went years trying to get out of this diva era,
and you're
pulling it back in by wearing this and stuff. And a lot of people, clapped back on it. Velvet Sky jumped in and said, "Hey, do what you do. You can be great and still dress how you want and all that." So, I bring that up because I think Tiffany Stratton is a perfect example of that. She wears the I guess some people would say risque outfits where There's
skimpy
stuff
and-
hanging out, and, but man, she can go.
Yeah.
She can go. She is an athlete through and through.
And I'll be candid about it. When she first came across my screen, I'm like, I can't stand you. Like, and she might have been heel at the time, maybe. And but I immediately thought, this is the girl that spends 2 hours in line at Starbucks, who has to have her Panera Bread sandwich, cut in half, and
But that
cut
was her
quarters.
That was her character in NXT, though.
Only
That was
gets,
her character.
Only gets flat wings.
A bucket of flat wings, but flat wings nonetheless.
Just drove me nuts. And then recently watching her work, I'm like, my God, she can go.
Yep. Yep.
It turned into from loving to hate her to I just love her, man. She's great.
Yep.
Great in the ring.
And honestly, you can tell in the build-up, you can tell that she still gets a little nervous or just needs work on getting some of her stuff across in her promos. But man, that promo a couple weeks ago, when she clapped back at Charlotte and had that stuff prepared, that was definitely prepared. That wasn't off the top of her head, but let me tell you something.
She delivered.
Because 2 weeks before that, they were on the face-to-face video screens, and Charlotte, who, all right, they're ready to wrestle each other at WrestleMania. Charlotte made her look like a complete fool. Made the face look like a complete fool.
Mm-hmm.
Talked over her, and she tried to do it on the face-to-face one in the ring, too. And I don't know if somebody got in Tiffy's head or if she just realized it herself, but, she said, screw this. Nope, I'm going for it. And she went for it. And guess what? Everybody's talking about, wow, that was awesome. And everybody's talking about Charlotte looks stupid coming out of that. And Charlotte even got rattled in it.
Yeah, we talked about it before. Apples don't fall from pear trees. As far as Rick goes and as far as Charlotte goes, I think there's a lot of insecurity there that comes through when Charlotte's on the mic and even when she's in the ring. And I think if she got better control of that, maybe, I don't know. I don't think it's so much ego as it is just an insecure nature that she has, no pun intended.
Right. Now, the people, with all that said, people, honestly, it was brought up in the interview because Charlotte dragged it out of her. Basically, she had it in her arsenal, and Charlotte would, I can hear you, Diffie, just totally just bashing her over and over. And finally, she's like, yeah, that's not enough. And then she brought up the thing about her divorces and stuff. I'm not going to do it. I think that's personal stuff that maybe, unless it was gone over ahead of time and none of us know, that's something that maybe doesn't really usually, something like that doesn't need to really be brought into it. You know what I mean? Or like people saying, oh, look at, all the keyboard idiots on Twitter or whatever that, oh, look at her face. You can't even tell who she is. You're just bashing someone's appearance. You're just harassing someone by saying that.
Yeah,
that has nothing to do with anything.
The same people that are going to go nuts if she does a moonsault to the outside at WrestleMania,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing is, things like that, even though maybe they're not planned or maybe they're a little too much, that is what seems to resonate now with the crowd, wrestling crowds nowadays. Is that real, true-to-life stuff,
To wrap that one up, I don't think Charlotte loses one iota of steam or anything else if she loses this match. But Tiffany would. And Tiffy winning this match puts her next level.
I agree.
Puts her next level. Absolutely.
All right, up next we got Rey Mysterio taking on El Grande Americano.
Who is this guy? He came out of nowhere.
I think it's Kurt Angle.
I never thought of that.
You know where Kurt Angle's from?
America.
No.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's from Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
I just wonder if you knew where it's from.
Oh, yeah. Pittsburgh. Yeah. They got good wings there.
But they don't.
I don't know.
They got good Philly cheesesteaks, though.
Yes.
Just outside of Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Philly.
I don't know why I didn't bite on that right away. Yeah, Pittsburgh's got great Philly cheesesteaks. It's great. Anyways, this new guy came out of nowhere. Honestly, I gotta say, I'm gonna go with Ray. And here's why I go with Ray. Because if this guy can overcome, I'm getting a little emotional just thinking about it. He grew his eye back. He grew a whole eye back. If he can do that, he can do anything.
Yeah, he's a miracle, man. That's for sure.
See what I did there?
I did. See what you did there. I think Rey Mysterio is going to unmask him. I think that's going to be a big deal. It wouldn't be a big deal if Rey got unmasked because he spent, a quarter of his career without a mask in WCW. So,
Oh my God.
do you remember this?
He's a luchador. Plot twist. It's Eddie. Yeah.
Jeez.
What? Eddie Kingston.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They
He
got
was actually. Did you see Eddie Kingston on Raw on this past Raw?
no,
Was it SmackDown?
no, neither.
No, never mind. It was Burt Kreischer.
Oh.
It was not. I thought it was Eddie Kingston at first, but
Kingston.
my bad. So you think he's gonna unmask El Grande Americano?
El Grande Americano will be unmasked at WrestleMania by Rey Mysterio, and we're going to find out once and for all who El Grande Americano
Can
really
I put my
is.
2 cents in here?
Yeah.
For a second?
Yeah, what's
Two
your 2 cents?
pesos, please.
Yeah,
pesos.
2 pesos. Sorry. I think that there's gonna be somehow, some way, they're gonna have this whole crazy match, and then Gable's gonna come out of the crowd and do something. It's totally gonna be somebody else under the mask of the match. I think it's gonna be somebody else.
Plot twist: Jason Jordan.
It could be.
Because not only was it Chad Gable's
Angle's
partner,
son.
yes, Kurt Angle's son, and it's Chad Gable's partner.
No, I like where you're going with that. I could see that maybe doing
Until-
the old switcheroo
Mhm.
with the mask
Mm-hmm.
and maybe getting over on Rey.
Twin magic. Wait, plot twist number 2. Unmasks, it's Jason Jordan. Or is it? Until the agents come down and Jason Jordan's in the group of agents to pull everybody apart.
And then Fred from Scooby-Doo comes around and goes, "Let's see who you really are," and rips his skin off.
And it's Kenny Dykstra.
There you
Until Kenny Dykstra. Never mind.
Yeah,
We can do this all night. He's another agent.
Is he now?
Yeah.
It's good for him.
I thought you were just trying to go more and more obscure.
How do you even predicting this match? It's ridiculousness. But you know what? That's what we're here for.
It was me, Ray. It was me all along. Just ruined the whole segment. Sorry.
No, it's all right. I think we got our prediction
All right.
out anyway.
Next match. Wait,
What?
you predicted he was going to unmask him. You didn't predict who was going to win.
Oh, Ray Phoenix.
Plot twist number 4.
No, I was hoping this whole thing with Gable and the Americano thing was going to build up to the debut of Ray Phoenix, and then I was yesterday years old when I found out Ray Phoenix already debuted in SmackDown. And I
He
was
hits
like,
me up yesterday. He goes,
I've been
wait,
sitting
Ray
on the
Phoenix
edge of
already
my seat.
debuted? I'm like, he's had 2 matches already.
sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for this guy to come out, and then I don't watch SmackDown as much as I should. I have to now, but yeah. So, I'm gonna go with Americano on this one.
He actually beat LA Knight for the U.S. title, and then LA Knight beat him back because he's a 3-time champion. Nah, just kidding. He really didn't do that.
How BS is it that this new guy gets a match at WrestleMania, but Chad Gable doesn't?
Right.
Yeah,
Chad
Chad
Gable
Gable didn't get a
sits
spot.
Crap.
Still has never had a singles match at WrestleMania.
Ah, poor guy. All right, up next we have Jade Cargill. Don't laugh.
I'm not laughing.
Versus Naomi.
No, I'm laughing. Just kidding. This is going to be interesting because, well, they've beat each other down and left each other laying in the past couple weeks. I don't think I'm going to go with Jade on this one. Although Naomi's hot right now, turning heel. Do either one of you know what night is Rhea, Io, and
That's
Bianca
going to be
and
night
Sa-
2.
That's night 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a chance that Bianca could somehow be involved in this match. Because if you think about it, that's the common denominator between the two.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see, if it was at the same night, I wouldn't see her being involved in this angle, but I think because it's a different night, I think Bianca could play a part in this. I think I just talked myself into Naomi winning, maybe. Because, see, this is a good reason why I didn't write down my predictions. What is Bianca in that triple threat right there? She's basically the heel in that match. They're booing her out of the buildings, even though technically she never really turned. Every time she starts to talk or she says something, they're booing her out of the ring.
Right.
Not Io, certainly not Rhea.
Yeah.
Which, if you think how it played out, people should be booing Rhea, but it's Bianca they're booing. So, what if Bianca gets involved somehow?
And then turns on Jade. Yeah.
Because Naomi could be just that conduit between a Jade and Bianca feud after Mania.
I feel like they're building Jade up to be this unstoppable force, which is great because, that's always great competition. But also I watched SmackDown and her punches lacked a lot of credibility. And by credibility, I meant like there's 2 feet of room between a face and a fist. There's a little too much room. So I don't know how much they had behind her. And when she was in AEW, I thought the same thing. Like, her work's not great, but if she goes to WWE, they'll train her. And
she's definitely gotten better.
She's gotten a lot better. A lot better. But I saw that Thursday. I'm like, oh, no. Draw back a little too much there.
I'll make a post-WrestleMania prediction. Whatever happens in either one of their matches, the next program for both of them, Jade and Charlotte Flair, are with each other. Because that just makes sense. That's the one that everybody's been saying since Jade came here. Mm-hmm. And because they had that stare down in the aisle last week or the week before, when Charlotte was coming out and Jade was coming back from the ring, they stopped, looked at each other, and then they just kept walking.
Yeah. And those little subtleties nowadays,
as Heyman says,
something.
Everything matters.
Mm-hmm.
Every moment, every look, every sentence, everything matters. Everything's for a reason.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Jade just because of the build up, Mm-hmm. Yeah, now you got me. Now you got my wheels spinning. That's interesting.
I'm going with Naomi. What do you got? Want to throw in on some of this stuff?
Well, the only commentary I really have to add about this one is this match I think it's pretty historic in a way, because at least in recent memory, I don't think there's ever really been a women's match on a WrestleMania card that, other than, random nostalgia things, like when Trish and Lita came back a couple years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
That, isn't for a title. There's an actual story behind it. Right. It was actually built up.
And it's a big story,
too.
It's
a big
story.
One of the best stories they have going on right now.
Yep. And let me tell you, Naomi's vignettes, especially that one, not with the razor blades and stuff, but the one the week before where she had her hair all pulled out and stuff. Holy cow! Wow, it was like I remember I texted you. I was like, "Holy crap!" Naomi's promo.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, she's really good as a heel.
She's so believable.
Yeah. And she was crying. She was talking. She was mad, and there were tears running down her face. I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah,
you legitimately believe that she has anger management issues when she's flaring up,
And by the way, that look with the razor blades, I don't know if you saw that.
Mm-mm.
She had the razor blades on her costume, but she had razor blades in her razor braids, and all in her hair. It was badass.
Yeah,
it was badass. Yeah.
You think she got permission from Orlando Jordan to do the caution tape look?
I know, right? She stole his gimmick. She took his gimmick. All right. So what's your final answer on that one?
I'm still gonna go with Jade, just because of the build up, but I think you definitely have a good point with your pick.
And again, if Bianca's match was on that same card, I wouldn't even bring that up. But I think I just have she's that common denominator between the two of them.
Well played, sir.
Thank you.
Well played.
Thank you. All right, what do you got next, buddy?
All right, up next we got the War Raiders against the New Day. The New Day. Or is this now the New Day? Either way, New Day.
Is that your answer?
No.
Oh, New Day.
New Day. Tag team titles. New Day.
New Day. That's your prediction?
No.
Oh, New Day.
New Day.
Tag team
The
titles.
New Day.
New Day.
Tag team titles.
Yeah.
Against
Prediction.
War Raiders.
No, that's my. I was letting you know that's my prediction.
That's your prediction?
New Day. Here, let me give you my final prediction. New Day, or is it the New Day? Tag team titles.
War Raiders.
Oh, it's got to be different.
Well, I mean, unless he debuted on SmackDown 2 weeks ago and I don't know it, I'm hoping Big E comes back and makes an appearance and maybe interferes in some way, shape, or form and helps the War Raiders win it.
I forgot you're a Sunday Night Heat guy.
Yeah.
They watch SmackDown.
Watch Velocity, mostly.
Shotgun Saturday Night.
Yeah, Shotgun's here. That was actually cool. Like, you were cool if you watched that. Not Heat.
Not Heat. No.
The only way this is justified to me to have this match on the actual Mania card over the Profits versus Machine Guns is Big E has to get involved somehow.
Yeah,
That's the only way it justifies that being on the card.
I wouldn't doubt you see the Profits and the Machine Guns during like the pre-show or something.
Well,
No, they're on Friday night.
They're on.
They're gonna be on SmackDown.
Yeah, the match is
really?
the SmackDown before. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Don't worry, they're in good company. They're on the same card with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
oh
Yeah, you agree.
on that show. I
Yeah.
apparently
Should we
don't
make
watch enough to know
a
anything
prediction
about
on that? Who's the flavor of the year big guy?
Well, Jacob Fatu, but he's.
No, I mean, talk about that would be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Braun Strowman can't win it again,
You
right?
know what? Ray Phoenix. I think he's a top name they want to push right now.
Yeah,
On SmackDown.
yeah, but when they give people the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal win, they get hurt.
No,
So let's not do that.
yeah, we don't need him breaking his arm again.
Right. So you're going with War Raiders?
Yeah. With the hopes that Big E makes an appearance and
Nice.
helps him win.
Okay.
Okay. Up next,
Yes.
we have Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title.
In my opinion, I don't think there's any other outcome at this point that they can do but to have Jay go over. I think Jay has to win the title after this big of a build-up. And nothing against Gunther, because Gunther can immediately just go into another top program and be his awesome self. But the build-up that they gave for Jey Uso and the struggles and everything he's gone through and all the beatdowns and Jimmy getting beaten and everything, if he loses, that's just, he's a chump,
Let me ask you this.
in my opinion.
Do you think Jey Uso needs a title to get over?
He does not, but my whole point is after this build-up,
If he lost,
going for this, if he lost,
it's squashing.
yeah. So they had the build-up of Gunther coming after him every week, and then they had Gunther attacking him around every corner, and then they had Jimmy Uso getting beat up. You guys are supposed to be eating, but whatever.
We'll edit it in.
I was going to say edit and post.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I just all the things. It's almost kind of like the Cody situation, where all the stuff and all the struggles and all the hurdles and everything he's gone over in a miniaturized version, because it didn't take as long as that did. But it's almost like it has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It has to. My prediction is Jey Uso wins the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah, my first prediction was the opposite. Just because the guy's going to sell merch no matter what. He's good in the ring no matter what. Like, he's the most over. I kind of looked at it like, to see that many people yeeting at WrestleMania, maybe that's why he was there. Like, that's a visual.
Yeah.
Triple H said it in the press conference. Like, can you imagine that? And I felt like he was just seeing it as a visual that, will live in infamy, which it will. But it also made me question, like, well, then maybe he's not going to win. Maybe they just want that visual. They don't really need him wearing a belt, because it's almost like a waste of a belt to give it to someone that doesn't need it in order to be at a certain level. He's already at that level.
Yeah.
However, I couldn't think of any way for him to lose other than clean. And to me, I think, like you said, that would just squash his character. Someone would have to come out. Someone would have to interfere. Someone would have to cause him to lose that match. The only person I could think of was Jimmy, which, yeah, they could make sense of that, but it's already been done and it was off.
No. All right, listen.
It didn't make sense the last time it happened.
No, it didn't.
Listen. I'm sorry to interrupt. Breaking news. Don't ever speak the words or wish upon us another Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso match. Ever. Ever. And I do have to debate something that you said a couple minutes ago.
Sure.
He's over like Rover. He's over like no other.
Yeah.
In recent memory. He is not good in the ring. He is. I personally don't think he is. He's sloppy. He misses stuff all the time. He's and so many other people do this too, but he's in that category of same 5 moves. You know, he's in that Cena category, the Hogan category, the same 5 moves. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I feel like once they get to there, they don't have to do it anymore. You know, so
yeah. But I don't think he's really good in the ring. I think he's sloppy. Now I'm not saying he has to be a technician like Gable or Gunther or somebody like that, but I don't know. I think his might make up a word here. His overness may overshadow. I think it does overshadow his work rate. I know you're not supposed to say work rate, but you know his actual skill.
I'm not supposed to say prick either, but
right. Yeah, I think
you call me one all the time.
I think you're a prick for saying that he's good in the ring. Used in a sentence. Is that a verb or a noun?
Whoever booked Jimmy and Jey Uso was a prick.
How? Yeet. All right. So I'm going with Jey Uso.
And I'm going with Gunther.
If someone does interfere to make Jey lose, that's his next program post-Mania. Obviously. That would make sense. Clear. All right. I guess that brings us to our main event of night 1, doesn't it?
Yes.
We all know what that is.
Yeah, we certainly do.
Oh, yeah. It's right there.
CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins, the Seth guy. Have you heard of him?
I've heard of him.
No. Oh.
I gotcha. Wait, next time let's do that again. But this time, look in my eyes. What do you see?
Does this to me often.
But don't forget, when you look into my eyes, I only have one. Okay, we're done. We're done here. Goodbye. My jokes gave you goosebumps?
They're hives. I don't know which.
So this one here, a lot of people are predicting this happening. I actually also think this is going to happen, especially since WWE likes to come out with some big surprises once in a while, but they also like to lay things out and kind of put it on a plate and say, oh, look what you might be having for dinner tonight. It's clearly a steak. I see that it's a steak. After this past week, when I don't know if you saw that when Rollins was about to curb stomp Heyman,
I did,
and
yeah.
They stopped and said, now you owe me a favor. Everybody's like, who's Heyman going with? Is he going with Roman or is he going with Punk? No, he's going with Rollins. He's turning on both of them and going with Rollins. Now, does Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman moving forward sound weird? Yes. Does it make sense? Not really. But does it make sense for the storyline? I think so. And honestly, Seth, and if that happened, it needs to be the death of the Seth friggin' Rollins and the he needs to go back to badass Seth Rollins. And I think Heyman, I was going to say, does he need Heyman to talk for him? No. Do any of the three of them need Heyman to talk for him? No. But Paul Heyman will give credibility to anyone. You know,
All right. So, are you going with Seth Rollins as your prediction?
I am going with Seth Rollins for my prediction.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. What do you got?
Well, you got CM Punk, who's fought and clawed his way clearly to the main event at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
You got Roman Reigns, who his career speaks for itself. He's just a locomotive, nonstop. And then you got Seth Rollins, who now has this formative relationship, so to speak, with Paul Heyman, perhaps. I think the real winner in this match is going to be Paul Heyman. Because no matter who wins the match, it's going to be courtesy of Brock Lesnar.
Interesting. That would be interesting.
So we'll see what happens, but on this one,
Wow.
I'm picking Paul Heyman.
Wow. Now my head's spinning. Now all of them are left holding the bag.
Well, that's
And
the
he comes
point.
out. Holy
You've
crap.
got all three of them. You know what happens? You know when you got three guys that are all fighting over the same girl at the school dance. She's gonna walk away with the least expected person. The kid sitting in the corner that doesn't have anyone to dance with.
Yep.
But in this case, it's not some nerdy kid with a pocket protector drinking a slurry.
What's wrong with Papa?
It's
Papa?
Brock Lesnar.
And to fuel that, and again, what did Paul Heyman say? Everything means something. Everything is done for a reason. I don't know if you saw recently at somewhere, I can't remember somewhere, but a fan saw Brock Lesnar. It was reported online and it was all over the place. He saw Brock Lesnar say, "Hey, when you coming back to WWE?" He said, "I'm not. I'm retired."
Maybe planting a seed.
Right. Because you know, the way they do things now, and I'm not saying that was done on purpose, but maybe it was. They had Kevin Owens turn on Cody Rhodes, not a camera rolling. They relied on the fans to film the footage.
Yeah. And you know, this dates back to when Brock was wrestling in the Octagon, and Undertaker said, "You want to go, or do you want to do this?"
When he passed them in the crowd.
And he later
Yeah.
said, years later, he said he knew I was there. You know, we knew that was going to happen. You know,
Yeah.
like that was
Yeah.
a planned thing
Yeah.
to happen.
Yep.
But people didn't know that for years.
Yep. Everybody's like, "Oh, that was badass."
Yeah.
Whoa. That's interesting twist.
I think if Brock's there or not depends on two factors. One, if he's cleared of any legal issues. Or two, the availability of the greatest Paul Heyman guy, Curtis Axel, comes into.
Another plot twist, ladies and gentlemen.
Curtis Axel is Americano El
Awesome.
Yes.
Called it. You heard it here first, folks.
Jim Cornette always said, anybody that comes out of a box is automatically over. Anybody that gets unmasked out of the Americana mask, immediately over.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who it is. Over. All right. Well, there's our predict. Well, who's your prediction to win the match?
I already told you, Paul Heyman.
Paul, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. That's your story, and you're
That's
sticking
my
to
story,
it.
and I'm sticking to
I
it.
love it. WrestleMania night 1 done. Let's go on to night 2. All right. Night 2. Are we
Night
are we
two.
good up there?
We're good.
All right.
We're good. We're
All right.
real good. You know what I'm saying?
Let me see what we got. Oh, yeah, we good.
Real
we good, fam. We good, fam.
All right. Rhea Ripley
We all
versus Io Sky
in the club. We all fam.
versus Bianca Belair. I can't pick them anywhere.
I gotta go with my girl here. What's your prediction?
Which one?
The
is
girl.
your- I-
Rhea Ripley. I'm going with
Okay.
Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
Listen, I saw a picture on social. She's ready for Mania. She put it out. Her ready for Mania picture.
I saw that.
I'm going with
picture,
her.
and she certainly did put it out.
I'm going with her.
Put it all out.
Honestly, it's a title she never should have lost. She lost because she got hurt way back when. And yeah, she's We were talking on the way here to the studio today, and honestly, she's possibly the greatest women's wrestler, maybe, of all time. Possibly. If not there yet, she's on her way.
She's on her way. I will note that she did botch on Raw last week, which was unfortunate, but made up for it. And
Well, that happens.
It does. It happens all the time. But
Look what happened with Queen. She fell off the rope, and that's how she messed up her leg. Well, no, she messed it up earlier, and then she messed it up more by falling off the ropes. So that stuff happens. But overall, she's top tier.
Yeah.
And we were even saying it's like as soon as Hollywood gets a hold of her, she's gone.
Yeah.
And then she's megastar. She's Rock. She's Cena. Yeah. She can do action movies till she wants to retire and be old.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yep.
She's definitely my favorite in the match, but she's not my pick.
Who's your pick?
My pick has to be Io Sky.
Really?
They have made her this underdog that needs to win. Like, she needs to get a victory in this matchup, or her entire character is just going to be squashed.
Getting pie-faced every week by one of them.
Yeah,
one or the other
but
one of them.
also in saying that, I think she's going to have to really kick it into high gear and just fight and claw her way through this match. I think that's going to solidify her as a contender and as a champion. That she just needs to be a pit bull in this and just tear into everybody around her.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be, and I'm predicting, my prediction is it's going to be the greatest Io Sky match of all time.
Nice.
That's how I see it.
She's good. She's real good. Let me ask you this. We talked about night one predictions, and I brought up my scenario. If anything were to go down with Bianca being involved in that match, is anything reciprocated in this match? Possibly to make Bianca lose or win.
Yeah.
Either Jade or Naomi interfering.
It would almost be unfortunate, just because I'd like to see whoever wins this match go over clean.
Agreed.
But that's a very good point to make.
WWE, so you never know.
You never know.
Anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation, I assure you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. McMahon.
Such good shit. Oh, we don't say that anymore.
We can.
Sorry.
Well, we can say prick now.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Here, used in a sentence. This is a prick.
That's good shit.
That's good shit. I love it.
What I think's interesting, what you said about Io being the underdog here. Both of the women's title matches, the champion is the underdog. Tiffany and Io, I'd say both are the underdog in their
That's good
respective feuds.
And honestly, maybe it's more I want Rhea to win. I still think she's gonna, but you make a great point that she's been made to look like such the third wheel. Because it's almost like it's Rhea and Bianca, and Io's not even a factor. Even though she's the champ, she's not even a factor in the match. She's the one you got to win the belt from. That's a good point. If she comes and wins it, oh yeah, she was in that match too. Look at that.
Yeah.
And she shines as
just shines like a diamond in that. Yeah.
Nice.
Shine bright like a diamond.
All right. Up next, we got the Fatal 4-Way Intercontinental Title match.
Okay.
We've got Penta. We've got Dominic Mysterio. We have Finn Balor, and we have my guy, Braun Breaker.
I don't think it hurts Braun to lose the title. I don't think Penta needs a title. I don't think.
Say it. I know what you want to say.
My prediction's Dominic Mysterio. It's his time. Yep. I don't think Finn. Finn's great, but I think Dominic's gonna win the title, and then it's gonna branch out somehow to it. I think Finn's leaving the Judgment Day. Finn's going face, and it's gonna be a Dominic Finn feud.
Nice. I'm hoping. I mean, we still have Raws and SmackDowns to go through here, but I'm hoping something happens where they just on the fly call it a ladder match, because that would be one of the greatest.
That would be awesome.
You know, with those participants, be one of the greatest. To piggyback off what you said with Finn, I think Finn's great, but I don't think the machine's behind him anymore. I just don't feel like the machine's behind him.
No,
anymore.
I think that
Sadly,
I think that left
Yeah.
a long time ago. But he's still solid, still so good.
Yeah.
Still so good.
I'd give. I think Braun is going to lose though, because he's going to be sent up to do bigger and better things.
Yep.
I think.
Yep. He's going to he's going to go to a bigger
Higher
program.
echelon
Yep.
than he is right
Absolutely.
now. But yeah, I guess I'm going to have to take Penta. I agree. He probably doesn't need it, but it's going to bring a lot of eyes to that Intercontinental title. And like, you can't, I always say this, if I build something, if I have something that looks like this and I build upon it, it better look better than it did when I started. And if you've got Braun Breaker as your Intercontinental Champion, if he's not going to keep it, you got to give it to someone that's going to carry it like he did.
Yep.
And those are some huge shoes to fill, but I think
Absolutely.
Penta could do it.
Let me ask you this. Did you see the spear? That's all I have to say is the spear.
Yeah. I think
The greatest
millions
spear
of people saw this
in the history. Wait. Bill Goldberg could never do a spear like that.
So you know
Goldberg who? After that seeing that spear.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You know what? You know what's funny about that? Like the day before that spear that Braun did happened, Goldberg put up like on his social media like a compilation of a bunch of people doing the spear like over the years, with like the caption like "Nobody can do it like me" or something like that.
I wonder if that was done on purpose.
That's what I thought. I wonder if
like-
Braun was like, "All right."
I know that half of the spear is the guy taking the bump, right? Like
Yeah.
how fast you can hit the ground.
I don't know,
But Braun just gives
No,
it.
Carlito hit the ground hard. He sold it good, but Braun, like, holy crap, he got launched out of a rocket, like a cannon. Excuse me, not a rocket.
You gotta
He was a
wonder how
rocket.
these people don't break their ribs.
That was
You know,
crazy. I wonder. You know what? One of the things I imagined in Gorilla. I imagined back
Everyone-
in Gorilla the pop going, holy shit! That was crazy. I watched one of the
meanwhile, he can't digest food. For
I
a
know,
week.
I watched one of the the clips on YouTube with the streamers react, and they're all just like, "What the heck?" Their reaction was like, "What just happened?" Did you see Carlito's tweet?
No.
Oh, what did it say?
What was it?
You didn't see it?
Oh no, he's like, I want to thank everybody. My funeral will be held.
My services will be so good. Carlito is
Brilliant.
hilarious.
He really is.
That's so good. So I'm gonna go with Dominic on that one.
And I'm going with Penta.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
This is the match I think I'm looking forward to the most of the entire Mania card of both nights.
Oh yeah, by far.
I think it is absolutely Dominic's time. I agree with that. And I think Jay's gonna beat Gunther, and Braun's gonna go on to a feud with Jay for the World Heavyweight title.
Ooh, that's good.
Remember Braun beat Jay for the
Yep.
Intercontinental title
Yep.
in
Yeah.
first place. So I think that's how they're just gonna level up that story. They're just
There you
gonna make it for the
Both
world
guys
title.
are up on a different level now, and they're gonna come at it again.
I'm gonna tell you where I think the path Gunther is going after we finish our predictions.
All right. Next up, Billy, we have AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, taking on Logan Paul.
This is a prime example of a celebrity coming into wrestling. We talked about this earlier, and really just knowing his shit. Still not a better debut, not that he's debuting here, but still not a better debut than Ronda, but he's good. He's really good. And I think Logan and AJ might be the sleeper of the night. That might be I mean, high hopes are we're looking at high hopes for that four-way that we just talked about.
Yeah.
But man, this match here, I think it's going to be fantastic.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
We got everybody all psyched for that Intercontinental title
Yeah.
match, but this is the one I think I'm looking the most forward to.
And Logan's going to do something crazy in it.
He's always doing something
Yeah.
crazy, you know? AJ Styles, I've said it before, I feel like he's kind of today's Shawn Michaels, and maybe not performance-wise where he can do as much as Shawn did or sacrifice as much as he did of himself in the ring, but AJ can work with anybody and put on a 5-star match, and
Absolutely.
he's proven that for years. So you got a guy like Logan Paul who puts everything on the line every time he gets in the ring. It's going to be insane.
Yep.
I can't wait to watch this match.
AJ's in that upper echelon of Michaels and Flair and maybe a handful of others, maybe not, maybe, you know, a couple fingers worth others of, they used to say it about Flair all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He could have a match with a broomstick and
Yeah.
make the broomstick look good.
Yeah.
AJ's that kind of worker.
Yes.
He's that kind of performer.
I'm
I'm
Who do you have?
I'm going with Logan.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm going with Logan.
You know what? I didn't even pick one for this, man.
I think
I did not, because I can't.
Because I think
can't pick
Logan's
one for this.
full time now, as full time as Logan is. I think AJ is great. AJ is he's everything we just said, but I think there's a tinge at a bigger level. But I think there's a tinge of Dolph Ziggler-ish in AJ, where he can have, no pun intended, phenomenal matches.
Mm-hmm.
So they put him out there on a big stage with somebody like this. But I think Logan's a young guy. He's just kind of starting out-ish, in the big picture. And I think that AJ's there to put him over.
Yeah, get him there.
Yep. Because that's another name. I mean, you beat AJ Styles, you beat a main event guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Former
But-
world champion.
Former world champion.
Right. But do you think that AJ has received his flowers? Because I don't think he has yet.
No.
I think if he had wrestled Taker in an actual match during the COVID era of WWE, I think then maybe he would have.
Yeah.
But I feel like he still hasn't really gained that.
I don't think AJ ever
Brass
got his flowers, so to speak. And I know what you mean, like that upper echelon, that
Mhm.
like. But I think it's past the point that he's out of the garden.
Yeah.
To be able to get his flowers.
I
You
agree.
know what I mean?
That's a beautiful way to put
Yeah.
it. You don't buy me flowers anymore.
I sing love songs.
Yeah, you do.
What?
Up next is the women's tag team title matchup. And we've got Bailey and Lyra versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
This one's easy. Not that it hasn't happened before, but Bailey and Lyra are not winning this match. It's going to be a good match, but Liv and Raquel. Well, when they eventually drop the titles, it's going to be to an established team.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I think.
Not,
I think so.
not just like kind of thrown together at the last minute, because that's kind of how I felt that the Bailey.
Oh, it's
Lyra
wicked
team
thrown
was,
together.
yeah,
Yeah.
last
And
minute.
they tried to build it up because they had the match for the Intercontinental title like a couple weeks ago, and then
Right.
they're teaming up and all that. But it's too rushed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too rushed, and it wouldn't make any sense to have them drop the titles to them now. Another part of that too is Lyra's the
Intercontinental
title.
champion. They're not going to
So,
wear two
and
belts.
WWE doesn't like doing that.
Right,
We have
right.
to give one up. Why?
Yeah.
Why would you have to give one up? But they've made people do that before.
Right.
I.e., when Deep Dive.
Diesel.
Bob,
and Shawn?
no,
Oh.
I'm going way back.
Okay.
Bob Backlund and Pedro Morales
Ooh.
beat the Wild Samoans at Shea Stadium for the tag team titles. They made them give up the tag team titles because they were the world champion and Intercontinental champions.
Wow. That is a deep dive.
Yep. I went
Were you like
deep on that.
21 when that happened?
It was just legal. Actually, legal age was like 16 back then. But yeah,
Okay.
I was drinking for 5 years already.
Nice.
This is our first and last episode.
Yeah. Pretty sure we're close to the same age.
Oh, stop it, son.
Thanks, Dad. I don't want to be on your show anymore, Dad.
Don't you remember when we flew together? Be nice to your father.
What
do you think?
I think there's a lot of cracks right now in the Judgment Day.
Okay.
So
It's Carlito. He brought it in, didn't he? When he came into
he took a bite out of the Judgment Day and spit it right out.
Oh, I thought you meant crack.
Sorry.
I
That's
thought-
not crack.
My bad. That's
Wow, you looking?
no. Okay. Can we pause?
I got a bucket of crack sitting on over there.
Right next to your
Covered
bucket
in
of wings.
listen.
covered in red hot.
Listen, they've said that Carlos Colon has been a bad influence on some people. Well, clearly his son.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Took a stab at that one, huh? Yeah. So I think that someone's gonna cost them. I think the Judgment Day is gonna come out, try to help them win, and screw it up for them. But I do agree. I mean, like they're not gonna give someone 2 belts, but maybe that's the unpredictability that they're looking for.
So you're predicting Bailey and Lyra?
I am.
Wow.
I'm going out on a limb. And,
Nice.
Yeah. I do agree with what you say. We can still be friends.
Yeah, we still will be.
Okay. We'll be friends for life.
Yeah.
Buddies forever.
All right.
This whole match to me just feels like it's an excuse to get all 4 of these women on the card somehow.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
they gotta
it doesn't-
tuck them in and
Yeah.
wherever we can fit them,
Yeah.
which is all right.
Yeah.
They worked their way there.
Like,
I guess
I like all 4 women involved, but it is a total piss break match for me.
I would
It's
rather
just
have an
like
intercontinental title match than
Yeah.
a tag match. I think in this. In this,
I think the
instance.
piss break match is going to be the one where Brock Lesnar comes out.
It's this match. Brock just comes down and F5s all the girls.
Oh
and
no!
Just pees on all of them. All right, there you go.
Jeez.
That's his thing. Remember the last
Oh,
time
yeah.
he peed on him?
Hit them all with an F5 and then an SA.
Jesus Christ.
All right, this next one.
It's a big one.
It is a big one, literally.
And
2 of the
hon-
biggest guys in the WWE right
And
now.
honestly, at the very beginning when they were teasing it or going towards it a little bit, weird. It's like, oh, and I even think like from what you hear from behind the scenes, Drew wasn't happy about it. He didn't think it was a big enough spot for him. But I think they've done a real good build up for this match.
Yeah, but you know, in the same token, how much of a kick in the nuts is that for Damian Priest to have someone upset that you're going to work with them at WrestleMania? You know,
Right. Well, maybe he's professional and said, "Hey, let's just do it." You know.
Yeah.
No, I'm not in the locker room, but maybe
Right.
it's like, let's give it our all. Let's do it. These are the cards we're being dealt. You know. Maybe it'll be like last year when I came out and beat you in 2 seconds.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping it's just going to be like a slobber knocker, you know, as JR would say, and just full bore, just beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, it's going to be a
toss
brawl for
match,
sure. Just
you
look
know?
at the build up for it. You know what I mean? Drew has to go over, especially after Damian beat him in like 2 seconds last year.
Yeah,
He has to go over.
yeah. It'd be funny if they redid that whole scene again.
Oh my god!
Like they were going to do it again,
Yeah.
but then, you know, kick out.
Right,
instead.
oh, there you go.
Oh,
There you go.
almost
Nice.
got him.
Nice.
I guess that's my prediction for this match. That's how it's going to start anyway. But yeah, Drew I don't think needs to get over in the match. I think Damian Priest needs to get over, but I'm also kind of putting Damian Priest. It's almost like this is where Judgment Day came from, you know, like aside from Dominic Mysterio, like it's just these guys that the machine's not behind them, so they put them in a faction to kind of, you know, like give them some work to do. And Damian Priest came out of that, but now I feel like he's going right back into that same, you know, if he loses this match, I don't think they're going to have much for him after this.
If Drew loses, I'm going to just same thing with the Charlotte and Tiffy comparison. If Drew loses, he doesn't lose anything. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree.
But if Damian loses, then he loses some clout.
Yeah.
But I would think maybe even with that feeling that he had at the beginning, or so we think, who knows if that was even real. But if he was really mad about that, maybe he's like, well, I got to go over. Or you know what I mean? Maybe it's like, or maybe they'll appease him. Maybe he doesn't say I got to go over, but maybe they put him over. He just needs his win back. That's my predictions for McIntyre.
You know, I'll go with you on that. I'll go with Drew too, because the more I think about that on that aspect of things, Drew needs a win, because when was the last time he really got one?
Yeah.
Seems like every, you know, with CM Punk he lost.
Yep.
He's on this downward trajectory, even though we don't see it as that, because He's Drew freaking McIntyre.
What's your thought, Ness?
Yeah.
Something I just want to add. I don't know if this will affect either of your predictions or not, but this is. I think they announced it on SmackDown. This is a street fight.
Las Vegas Street
It's a
Fight or
street
something like
fight,
that.
yes.
Or Sin City Street Fight.
Yeah, I think that's what they call it. So I don't know if that affects the prediction either way there, because that
Could be some
different-
interference in there too
different
with that.
scenarios.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be.
You know, maybe instead of the Judgment Day falling apart and crumbling, perhaps they rebuild their foundation at WrestleMania and they take Priest back.
At one point, Judgment Day was the baddest group I thought in wrestling. You know what I mean? At a small time, I was like, wow, look at that. They really brought them out of nowhere, and but yeah, that should be a good match either way.
I'm changing all my predictions right now with this new revelation in my head.
Now you're going with Damien?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I may even go with Dominic Mysterio too.
Ooh, look at you. They
This
walk
could
out
be
of
the-
They
this-
walk out of there with all the belts.
They walk out with all of that. They
belts.
walk out all together again. Rhea and Dominic get back together.
Is that's not happening.
Good.
Is Finn still leaving the Judgment Day though, or is he staying strong?
If that happens, I think they would all come back together.
Interesting.
But you know,
I
anything could happen.
I know there's a different match, but I think in that match, I think Liv is gonna be out there, cause interference, and cause Finn to lose. Hence
And-
why, and maybe even let Dom pin him.
Oh, nice.
Maybe that will be the catalyst for him turning, for him getting out of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, up next, I guess the only way we can predict this is who will face Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
My prediction is Randy Orton's the winner. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. So there's a lot of rumors online. First thing after that angle on TV, the first thing everybody thought of, I did at least, was like, is Nick Aldis coming out of retirement to wrestle Randy Orton? But then this past week, Randy Orton said, hey, maybe you even take the suit off and get back in there and have another match, which means it's not going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
That put him in the category of Michael Cole saying, for the championship, no. Every time he says that means they're not winning the championship.
Yeah.
A lot of talk about Aleister Black. Maybe that's his big return.
Ooh, wow.
What was another one that people were saying? What is it? Oh, well, after this past week, it probably looks like it might be Solo.
Yeah.
And again, we're recording this before the Go Home Raw. So the last Raw and the last SmackDown haven't shown, but I mean, maybe Solo. Solo's got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's again though, it just seems so thrown together. Last minute thrown together kind of thing. I mean, last 2 weeks, but you got all these buildups that have been going on for months and months, and then you're throwing one of your best guys out there with and I'll say two of your best guys. Like Solo Sikoa is pretty good. He carries a match, but he's not over. I don't think as much as many
He used to be.
of his constituents are. But
Yeah.
it seems obvious that that's going to be it. I just hope it's not.
What are the chances, percentage-wise? What are the chances
That Randy Orton wrestles a urinal? You heard that
No.
story, right? That's a good one.
Yes, I know it is.
Is
What are
Brock
the
gonna interfere in this one?
what?
too?
Jesus, that'd be a real pisser. What are the chances that the whole Owens thing is a work?
Oh my gosh.
He attacks Randy's in the ring waiting for his opponent. Owens attacks him in the ring. I honestly, just for the sake of that means he wouldn't be hurt. That would be awesome, but I think it's real. But man, holy cow. Nobody would ever trust him ever again with anything ever.
It would be so great.
He could never be a face again.
The reason I don't think that would be the case is because nobody would ever trust an injury announcement ever again.
Right.
After
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Never.
Right.
Yeah.
Never.
It'd still be great though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The crowd of boos
This
that
is,
would
a,
just
this, is
fill
a,
in
this is an
immediately.
awful example. But like with that mindset, like Roman comes out someday, guys, I'm sorry, it's back. You're a liar. Jesus, what?
Wow.
Yeah. So I would say I'm hoping for Aleister Black. I think he might be being saved for maybe the Raw after or the SmackDown after, because they always need somebody big for that. But probably Solo. But Randy's going over no matter what. If it's Aleister in the as the mystery opponent, and we don't even know if he has a mystery opponent, do we? We're just assuming.
We're assuming.
He didn't say he had a match.
He's wanting a match.
Assuming he's just going to come out and demand somebody to come out.
Right.
But if it is Aleister, then Aleister goes over. Anybody else? It's
What are the chances they do a total swerve and it's like a Joe Hendry or something? You know,
that would be
like
awesome.
I think he's going to be there that weekend.
Well, the thing is, I think the
signs.
reason it's not going to be Joe Hendry is because they're running an angle on TNA right now where Joe Hendry's injured. And he's going into a 3-way with Ethan Page and Frankie Kazarian.
I did know.
So I don't think that they would use him in that spot. If that wasn't the case, then I would maybe put him into that consideration spot as well. What do you think?
That's where I'm going to insert the glass breaking noise.
Oh.
Legend Killer.
Oh, wait. You think Jack Perry's coming out?
Jack Perry.
Is it real glass?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah,
We can't do that here.
no, can't do that here. Did you see when Damian put Drew through the windshield? Was it SmackDown?
Yeah.
No, you didn't see it. So on SmackDown a couple weeks ago, they had a brawl backstage.
Yeah.
And Damian put him through the windshield of a car.
All right.
And that's why Drew was wearing the eye patch.
Okay.
Because
he got
I don't know if
glass.
he legit got it in or if it's a storyline, but he got glass in his eye.
that.
But right after that segment, they went to like a commercial and they came back and they show Punk walking down the hall backstage.
No.
And he looks over and sees Drew laying on the windshield. He's like, subtle as hell, but
That's
oh
so
my
great.
god, that's great.
great.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Nah, I don't think it'll be on. But yeah, I don't have a prediction per se, but anyone but Solo because it's just so obvious, you know.
Yeah.
When you're having a mystery opponent, hopefully a mystery opponent. Again, we'll find out on
Yeah.
SmackDown.
Maybe it's somebody totally, yeah.
Both of you just throw out the most random name you can think of for it.
Right now.
Yeah.
Max Moon,
Oh.
Conan as Max Moon. I wanted to be specified.
Okay.
I wanted to be specific.
Hey, Randy, look at my jacket. You want to
You
touch
wanna
it?
touch it?
That's
That's
enough. Órale. Well, Chad Gable doesn't have a match, so maybe it's Chad Gable.
It should be Jack Gable.
Who knows?
You're right.
All right. I think we're up to the big.
The big
We're
one.
up to the big one.
Genuinely,
big guy.
I just thought of one. What if it's Sammy? He doesn't have a match.
I did think about Sammy.
That's another thing I was going to say at the end.
But Sammy comes out, and then right before the match, the bell rings. He jumps.
And that makes sense
They
because
both
his
jump
original
John Cena.
You just went off on a tangent.
Yes.
No.
And then John Cena goes to space. And then, like, an alien comes out. Sorry.
Americana unmasks and it's
Conan.
John Cena.
I was gonna say, but that makes sense because Owens was the original opponent. As
Sammy steps in for him.
Sammy steps
Yeah,
in.
but
for him.
Sammy and Owens were feuding.
Oh, okay, and so were Randy and Owens,
That's
but
true.
then they had that little moment on SmackDown.
All right, so Sammy comes out. Crowd's going crazy. And then Owens jumps the barricade, and they both jump Randy Orton. It was a setup the whole time.
Dude.
That would be awesome. Is that your prediction?
That's my prediction.
Nice. That's great.
But I wouldn't have had it if he had.
That's never gonna happen again. Ready for the big one?
I'm ready for the big one.
Here we go.
All right, main event. The big one. Probably the biggest one.
Big one.
John Cena Cody Rhodes.
Yes. I have a couple different predictions in this. Prediction number 1. If you smell but The Rock, he's good. He's definitely going to be, maybe not at the beginning, he won't come out with him, but he's definitely coming out some point during the match. And then if I can steal a line from you, insert glass breaking. Steve Austin's coming out to combat Rock's interference or cornerman-ness. Made up another word.
I like it.
Austin will come out to combat that. Cody is retaining his title.
All right.
Whether that's the end of Cody Cena, maybe not, probably not, but Cody's retaining.
Interesting.
Does he lose it after Mania at some point to Cena? Maybe. But at Mania, I think he's retaining.
Okay.
He's the golden goose. It's too predictable to have Cena win, I think.
All right. Well, I'm going to agree with you. But because I am Swerve Master Ed, that's my street name. I got a lot of cred on that.
Whose house? Ed's house.
So I think that Cody Rhodes is going to swerve and join The Rock. And it was all a big setup just to take out John Cena. That Cody Rhodes will in fact join The Rock's family and become
The general manager of NXT?
the general manager of NXT.
Oh, that's the other
LFG.
That's the other.
THMNOPQRS.
Gets all of his family members to be general manager of all the shows. Awesome.
No, but yeah, I think Cody's going to turn heel and keep the belt.
Interesting.
So kind of do like when Austin turned heel at the end of that Mania.
Yes, because the minute you said Austin, I got thinking like, yeah, Austin probably will come out. But wouldn't it be cool if he joined The Rock? I was like, that wouldn't happen. But Cody, on the other hand,
Do you think there's still any life? This is off the course, but not really. Do you think there's any life? We're talking about this on the way to the studio today. Do you think there's any life left in any potential Rock Roman match? Or is that past its point of happening, you think?
I think there's potential with Rock, anyone else. The Rock is a draw. Rock Roman would be huge.
Right. As the days and the years tick on, he's getting older and older. Still great shape, but can he go in the ring? You know what I mean? I mean, it's not 10 years ago. It's not 11 years ago when he was out there with Cena and you know, I don't know.
Well, I guess it depends on who can take care of him.
He didn't
in
do
the ring.
Didn't do a super lot last year in the tag team match.
I just never want to see him in the kind of shape Hogan was when he wrestled The Rock. You know, like cracked a rib, you know, doing rock bottom and stuff. That would be pretty sad. I don't know. I really think The Rock could still go. I put money on The Rock.
But do you think there's money? Do you think there's money left?
Yeah.
You think there's a draw left, or do they let it?
Oh, absolutely. He's literally one of the most famous human being on the planet.
I forget it's the WWE. They can like do anything.
They can squeeze blood from a stone at this point.
Yeah. So you think Cody's going over?
I think Cody's going over, but turning heel.
I'm gonna disagree with both of you. I think Cena is going to win this, and the reason I think that is because I'm trying to look at the whole landscape of this upcoming year, Cena's whole retirement run. If Cena loses here, what does that mean for the rest of this heel run? What crutch does he have to lean on for that? Unless it just leads to a rematch with Cody, which
he could put Orton in there somehow.
Honestly, what I want out of this Cena retirement run is him to face as many different up-and-coming opponents as he can. And I think the perfect way to do that is to have him as the all-reigning evil champion. He wants to take the belt with him back to Hollywood. Blah blah blah. I think that is the direction the storyline is going to go.
Interesting.
He needs to have a match with Punk. He needs to have a match with Orton. I have a feeling Orton's going to be like near the end.
Yeah. Understandably so.
I saw someone put up, it was like, I can't wait for this match during this run, and it's Cena and Roman, and someone was like, so who's going to be there to build the match?
Yeah, right. Let's go to a pre-recorded videotape.
Yeah.
All right, man.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
Those
all
are
she
predictions. I got 2 things to say. 3 things to say. You already touched on one of them. It is. I was kidding earlier. I believe that the Owens thing is legit. Sucks that he has to miss. Well, it sucks he has to have neck surgery, but it sucks that he has to miss the biggest show of the year. Since he came to WWE, and as you and I know, well before that, he's just a star, and he deserves all of his flowers. And he's honestly, is he a Grand Slam champion? Yeah, he never had the Intercontinental title, right?
No, he did.
Did he?
He did.
So he's a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, won the tag titles. with
so.
Sammy.
World title, Universal title, tag, Intercontinental, US, all that. So yeah, he's hopefully that works out for him. He comes back stronger than ever. I was gonna say it's a shame that Solo doesn't have a match, but maybe he does. We'll find out. Sammy doesn't have a match, which would make sense if he got put in that. But if he doesn't, what the hell? Sammy doesn't have a match.
Yeah.
On WrestleMania.
And the fact that they're not even bringing that up.
And if they put him in the freaking Battle Royal, I'm going to be pissed. But you know who else is not booked on the main event or on the main card of WrestleMania? One of the biggest stars in the company, in my opinion.
Thanks, Billy, but I can't wrestle them.
Eddie Carpenter. Chelsea Green. I'm sorry. Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green.
Definitely should have been.
So I saw someone online say, here's a spot for Chelsea Green. And they probably would have announced it ahead of time, but maybe she just comes out and makes herself the host of WrestleMania.
That'd be nice.
And maybe there's a story arc throughout the entire thing of her trying to get them to make her the host. Or maybe they started on SmackDown. Of getting her to be the host of WrestleMania. That would be fantastic. She is probably the most entertaining person in the entire company.
Oh, that would change. That could change the whole outlook for WrestleMania. Right there, then you got Randy Orton's surprise opponent,
Matt Cardona.
That's fantastic. She's like, comes out of the ramp.
No.
That's not you, Sikoa.
I need somebody. You're not ready. I need somebody who's ready. Someone who's always ready. Fantastic.
What's frustrating to me about all these people, like Chelsea, Sammy, like all these people that are left off the card, they have a 3-hour pre-show. Both nights of WrestleMania. 3-hour pre-show, no matches. No matches on either night. You have all this extra time that you have airtime for.
Right.
Why are you not using it?
Yeah.
You're just going to have us look at a bunch of panelists talking about matches we already know are happening?
Yeah.
Like
the same. They're just going to replay the same stuff they've been playing on the WWE
the same promos, the same video packages.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right. That's one in the books.
One in the books.
One and not quite done.
Our first episode, a very special episode, WrestleMania moments, WrestleMania predictions, WrestleMania 41 right around the corner. Looking forward to it. We're going to be back in 2 weeks. We're going to talk about our love for wrestling, and our love for rock music. Rock music. And what I mean by for our love is we're going to go way back, and we're going to tell y'all and tell each other all.
Yeah,
We
got
all.
many a story.
We're going to talk about how we got into wrestling. What was my first experience of pro wrestling? How did I first ever see it? What was my first experience? What grabbed my ear first in the world of music? I remember. You remember?
What was your first concert?
Right. Oh, I know mine. That's right.
Yeah, we got plenty to talk about in the coming weeks.
Now they're gonna do your like
G.G.
reactions to
Allen.
Mania, right?
Is that your first wrestling?
I was like, what the bloody hell's going on here? Anyways, Eduardo, it's been a pleasure, my brother of many years.
Always.
Yes, don't put any pictures of up of me on any of the socials or in the show when I was really fat. Just put the ones up when I'm kind of fat.
Sure.
So that's already been done. Great. All right. Slams and jams.
Peace.